Hey, what's going on, y'all? Greetings to everybody. Totalitarianism number three. Okay, we're gonna talk about what's going on over there in Ukraine and Russia a little bit. I'm gonna speak on it vividly. I'm gonna show you some pictures, and we're gonna talk about Putin just straight up. Shouts out to everybody who came through, and appreciate people stopping by. What's going on, Advisor, Shar, Crystal, Shalom, and this is gonna be a good one. This is gonna be a good one. So we're gonna make sure everything is all right. So we're gonna speak on what is political world systems. We're here now, and there it is. So this one is going to be good. We're going to talk about the Ukraine and the thing that's going on over there. It goes back to when Putin, the Cuban Missile Crisis. It goes back to 2014. It goes back to the time when he ruled and those rig elections. He was having people poisoned, assassinated, and killed. And we're going to show you the pictures in a minute. This the reason I brought this up and the reason I want to make a part three to this is because of the situations going on. It's just like I was saying. The last two streams I did on it on the political world systems, like I said, totalitarianism is what it is. This is one of those leaders that's modern. So we're going to look in the philosophy basics and we're going to tell you what it's about. It refers to authoritarian political system or state that regulates and controls nearly every aspect of the public and private sectors. Totalitarian regimes establish complete political, social, and cultural control over their subjects, like you see over in Russia right now. And they're losing power because of the oligarchs, and are usually headed by a charismatic leader, equals dynamic leader. In general, totalitarianism involves in a single mass party, typical led by a dictator. That's what Putin is, right? In an attempt to mobilize the entire population to support the official state of ideology and the intolerance of activities which are not directed towards the goals of the state, usually entailing repression and the state control of business, labor unions, churches, and political parties. Totalitarian regime is essentially a modern form of authoritarian state, requiring as it does in an advanced technology of social control. That's the introduction of that piece I want to read right there. Yes, it has its glorious tactics, terror tactics, but like I said, what I just read from the philosophy basics. So we're gonna get into it, and appreciate you. What's going on, TC Killer? What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Salute. All hail Gray Skull. And what's going on, Zab? What's going on? But like I said, man, we're gonna talk about what we're seeing over there overseas. Yes, Putin got himself in a guerrilla warfare. He started out say he was going to bomb people and things like that. Most people reports. I've been watching France 24 lately. I've been watching Sky News and other news sources. I ain't watching Americans alphabetical news, so to speak. I don't fuck with them. They just banned Russia Today's, Russia's networks from Kremlin and things like that. But Russia's hurting. And once the oligarchs got exposed, and me and my father was talking about one of their yachts got seized. They can't use the yacht. They'll repossess the shit. And he was kind of laughing about it because here's the thing. My dad's an auditor and everything. He knows what's going on over there with the money and things like that. And so he gets the news in different sources as well. That's why I get my knowledge from a little bit when it comes to the financial part. So basically, we here now. Now I've talked about it in two streams about dynamic leaders, charismatic leaders that actually do damage and they control everything you like you see in North Korea and other places, Eritrea and all that stuff in the political systems that you see. Totalitarianism, man, it does exist with Putin. And you see it right now, and people were surrendering and he didn't feed them. And most of his soldiers that he sent out there were school teachers and educators. They wasn't really real soldiers. They wasn't trained in combat except those Ukrainians. President Zelensky ain't scared. He ain't scared. He's taking risks. And obviously he's going to lose the war. No, he's not. He's good at guerrilla warfare tactics. I did know a side story. My dad gave me some information. Putin is recruiting Syrian guerrilla fighters. But there probably be some throwaways that Putin did with the Chechens one time, and they was trying to go to Ashir Bal-Assad or wherever it called, Basad, I mean. I think it's Al-Bashir Bal-Assad or something like that, the Syrian ruler. They tried to get rid of him. And see, the Chechens, he didn't want the Chechens. He killed the Chechens to try to come over to Russia or that Muslim shit. Same concept what you see in Ukraine, same old shit, because he don't want they get back to him. So he sent him some Russian guys to kill those guys and get them killed over there. Similar to what you see in Ukraine. So what you're seeing now is a repeat of that. So the Syrians owe Russia a favor. So what they did was, and he said, you know what? He gonna send all the worst ones that have problems with Assad. So Bashar al-Assad said, you know what? You're gonna be my sacrifice for Putin. And they realized something. It's that war of patrician, like the visor and Surin says. This is what you're seeing right now. And I mean, like, man, I'm impressed with the news. Certain news reports were saying, like, they thought Putin's going to nuke his wave. But no, Biden was smart. You know what he did? He found the oil and made a deal with Venezuela. Said, you know what? We're going to fuck you up this way. Russian backed him in the corner. Back this motherfucker in the corner. You know what I'm saying? But let me get to the festivities. And y'all want to know the gist of what I'm talking about, why I put him as a totalitarian leader. It is another authoritarian state when we say the ideology, right? So what we're going to get here is let's see what I'm gonna find here. Totalitarianism. We're gonna see the pictures right here. This fool right here that had everybody fooled. He's all over on the news, right? I know America's not perfect. We have our own problems. To see the Trump and Putin thing, that's obvious. And it says the future is history. Yes, you see it now. He's killing babies and bombing them in the streets. And a lot of people say he's not doing it. He is. Russia's in turmoil. He's in turmoil with the oligarchs. They're going down. It's going to be, like I said, anarchy. I'll talk about anarchism a little bit. I don't go in depth on it, but what you see right now with Ukraine and Russia, this was going to be brewing sooner or later. And a lot of people think it's origin. Yeah, it's a little distraction, but quiet as it's kept. Whoever wins this war will have the bigger supply. A lot of people say Russia's going to do it. No, Russia's through. China's through. They're gonna think twice. I think me and DeAndre was talking about this last year about those countries in Asia. And these niggas in these spaces trying to say, well, China and Russia gonna rule the world, which is not true because we got too much military power. Think about it. When Biden got in office, the conservatives did damage. You see the problems that Putin has. Now, if Trump would have won, he would have gave him Ukraine. It'd been too easy. But since he got Edward Snowden on the low, see, Putin's got a lot of information where Snowden is and everybody else is. That's what it's really about. And quiet is kept. Something happens to him, they're going to seize that information. Y'all do know America's looking for that information. I'm just showing you the pictures of Putin right now. This right here. This is what matters. I ain't trying to do no research on it. I talk about totalitarianism in part 1, part 2, and then you see what's going on. So I got this right here, right? I'm saying this to say this. Totalitarianism is what it is, man. Like you see this dynamic leader in Russia right now. Their banks are freezed up. The oligarchs' bank monies is freezed up as we speak. Everything is frozen. They can't get the shit out. They don't know where to get food. Me and my father was talking about this earlier in the morning. We was talking. We was on the phone, whatever, right? We was talking about it, and then in the car as well. And then we was like saying, he said, where they going to get food at? And he couldn't go to the neighbor countries to get food, but China had to help him and doing things like that. We was talking and things like that. And man, it's incredible, man. Like this, I didn't think this was going to be this fast. You know what I'm saying? This fast like that. So again, you see this now. I mean, this is a rocky year. This is getting heated. So I'm glad I'm doing this topic because I'm gonna come off the cuff off this one. I read you a few what information what totalitarianism is. I ain't gonna bore y'all to death. What's going on? Good evening, Supreme Elder. Good folks. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Appreciate you. Mr. DJ Music. Y'all check his channel out, please. But yeah, I think Putin it caught up with him. He thought totalitarianism was gonna last forever. It doesn't. It usually lasts for like a decade, and then decades later, it don't last. I think me and Cerulean talked about this. Short-term process, it work. Long-term, it's not conducive because you're gonna have a lot of people gonna end up being anarchists and turn against you. So you got these dudes that don't understand politics. They don't understand proper ideology, and when they use terms like fascism, totalitarianism, and authoritarian states, they don't understand the proclamations of everything. Like these 2.0 clowns claim they know everything. They don't know shit. I heard some over at the DC code breakers. They say, "Oh, Russia's gonna win this war." I'm like, get the fuck out of here. No, they're not. Not no guerrilla warfare. Look at Vietnam. Got our asses kicked. A lot of people try to say we won that. We got our fucking asses kicked historically and statistically. We got to stop the bullshit, bro. Just because you see those fake numbers on Google, don't be fall for that bullshit. No, people have died. We went from the AR-15s, right? I know we had the M14s, right? Those guns, and then we had the M16 to slaughter the kids, right? But them guerrilla warfare tactics, those Vietnamese got the best of us. I'm sorry. I mean, we could say we won it in a little bit. No, we didn't. We actually lost the war. We lost a lot of men. That's why you got a lot of gangbangers nowadays. A lot of them, when they got out of the military, they joined gangs. Y'all do know that, right? World War II, you had it, but not as on the level. That was mafia level. That's different. It's not the same as street gangs. I'm talking about street gangs. Vietnam birthed a lot of street gangs because when I saw that one of the Gangland series, half of those dudes, those gangs, those biker gangs came from Vietnam. They were boomers. And next thing you know, some of the boomers were decent, but the rest of them that were degenerates, they end up being gangsters. And there was a divide between the generations. That's why you got a lot of problems. And my dad's generation, which he admit they ain't perfect. He was born early 50s, and he'll let you know that they ain't perfect. Even mine's ain't perfect. We copy certain things from them. Shouts out to DS1 for saying about drill music is a problem. He said that in one of the parts yesterday, and I agree. When the boy was sad because his father was killed at 13. This is what you see around the world. So what you see in the world today, systems collapse, right? So you're gonna have problems. Yes, you're gonna have thugs killing each other overseas. Yeah, this is on a professional level. But what we do on the street, that's baby shit compared to them. That's domestic terrorism we're dealing with. So you see this all the time. People are gonna just go at each other and just kill each other. But I'm glad he mentioned what's wrong with the boys. It's the same music that you heard in gangster rap for years, and I'm glad I'm referencing this. It's a combination where it all came from. So it's nothing new. Every genre had it. I agree with him on that. I mean, I wish we can have a discussion with that one Sunday and talk about it. That's one of the reasons you see these boys dying. The military is not a bad thing. I'll tell you that right now. No hate on the young guys. If y'all want to join the military, that's good. Problem is you got to get used to what you're signing up for. If you want to be a patriot, be a patriot. But some people, they do it for business. I've met some friends that they went to the military for business. They didn't just become patriots. Some of them do it as a job. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't hate nobody going to the military. And I've always been that person that runs in my, I'll say both sides of my family because they served. I had two grandfathers that used to be in World War II in the Navy and other uncles and cousins, different branches of the military. Salute them for their service and the ones in the chat. Like I said, man, like when you have a guy that has inexperienced soldiers on his team, like Russia, they were school teachers and shit, and they told him to go out and fight, no training at all. And he waited for they starve to death and die. And the Ukrainians was killing those soldiers. That's some crazy ass shit. That's a lot of sacrifice. A lot of them surrendered. Hell, it ain't even in combat. So he had to get Syrian guerrilla fighters to fight Ukrainians, which is kind of crazy. A lot of people say they're gonna win that. I highly doubt that. They probably ain't gonna be good. Ukrainians ain't scared, man. They got all types of stealth tactics and protection, especially from us. I mean, we got guys that's hidden that you don't see. NATO's not doing all the fucking work because they so trifling as hell on the tribunal. And I know the Convention trying to say Quit showing dead bodies, Ukrainians. I'm like, shut y'all bitch asses up. Y'all ain't gonna do shit, especially that coon bitch with the silver hair. A lot of people try to say no, she's a coon. She don't give a fuck about those babies getting killed, especially the people that's black soldiers that we got in every branch. When we get our heads blown away by Arabs or whoever, she don't give a fuck about that. Don't let these idiots in the Geneva Convention and these clowns in politics trying to tell you they don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves. Stop it. Y'all worse than these goddamn oligarchs. These oligarchs is one of the worst on Russia. And we got oligarchs too. So it's just a loose term. Oligarchs ain't shit. You're not above approach, bro. You can still get this work like anybody else. It's just you get what you get. Like I talk about anarchists, there's no monopoly. You can't monopolize anarchy. You'll lose every time. It's like the France back in the 18th century when they guillotined folks. It's the same concept what you see today with Putin. All them idiots are he's gonna be executed, and all they bitch asses is gonna get executed. You're gonna get what you get. Stop fucking around. This is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Like a lot of people don't know, and I'm showing you just pictures of him, and he's being plastered. So you can't be a totalitarian leader in the 21st century. That shit ain't gonna work. Yeah, man. He said, got our asses kicked around a bit in the Korean Wars. Well, exactly. I was about to get to that. Say yes. Yes. See, this guy served as a Marine, y'all. Y'all support this dude. And I'm saying, man, like, y'all got to understand how military works. You win some, you lose some. Our greatest war was what? World War II? I mean, we still fighting on war on terrorism. What you say, they could be World War III or a combination of Armageddon. They think we're going to use nuclear missiles. They try to say Putin's going to use them. Putin's not going to use them like that. Because if he did, he's going to self-destruct himself. He ain't got the fortitude to do that. Biden got him cornered. Way his tactics were. He's doing fairly great over here. It's just he put a chess move on him. A lot of people act like he's over there just getting it. But as I can tell, how come a lot of times people just don't see that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, when you deal with politics on this proper scale, you just got to look at it for what it is. So basically, when we talk about totalitarianism and then we talk about cultures and people getting shot down and killed and all that stuff, a lot of people ain't going to know the truth that the military is part of the biggest budget in the world. And I preach this a lot on the channel, especially on the Wednesday streams. A lot of dudes just don't want to admit that that shit is very valuable. So I know people aren't going to come in and go in right away. We got to understand something here. The military is like a fabric of your nation. You know what I'm saying? Russia's dealing with the shit, act like they know shit and try to say, well, we know the people. We expect them to obey us. And then when they're taking your rights away, like what Putin does, like, see, totalitarians control your public, private, and what we said in the basic philosophy, we just said, this is, I did it on the first stream of this on political systems that I talk about, right? They said public and private sectors controls everything. Yes, official state ideology, political parties, labor unions, churches, control of business. That means corporations. It is a modern form of an authoritarian state, requiring, as it does, an advanced technology of social control. This is the fourth industrial revolution, what we're seeing with this totalitarian regime, Russia, right? That Prussia shit is finished. You can't do nothing now. You can't feed them. You can't get the money out to feed them. You can't get them guns. You can't use your nukes for shit. We got nukes everywhere, hidden all over the place, even in space. So you're done for. So what are you going to do for your people? You already lost the war, technically, on the numbers sheet. But now we're seeing the chaos in Russia. That's all we're seeing. So Biden's doing what he's supposed to do as a conservative. A lot of people try to say, "Oh, he's liberal." No, he is a liberal / conservative. Economics, he's liberal. I say this all the time when I talk about my conservatism streams. He's a liberal conservative. And they said, "What's that mean?" A liberal conservative is basically he's liberal in politics and economics, but the military-industrial complex, the military structure, he's conservative. He's conservative all the way around in a military sense. America is built off the military, not economics. Economics comes second. Economics is just a tool to get places in society and life. Yes, it may seem to be number one, but it's actually secondary, quiet as kept. Information is currency. That's the real economic truth of the military. That's what saves it. And then the money just comes secondary to protect it. It's a tool, just like anything else. The weapons, everything else, food, shelter, and all that. Those are all tools of economics. Military ensures that to protect it. It's kind of like the drug shit. You see gangsters protect the drug deals, it's the same concept. It's just on a legal level. Same with the police, domestic military. It's like a private military. A lot of people call it private army. Yes. Or should we say private military corporation? That's what America is. It's a private military corporation industrial complex or military industrial complex. That's why the prison industrial complex is controlled by the police state, wherever you want to call America. And most people voted for that. Quite kept. So again, we see what's going on. So Russia is here now. So what you got here is you got a guy that's dominating all over the damn place. I just want y'all to see Putin for a minute. And this is what you get. You see Trump right here is his ass betraying the country as usual. A lot of people trying to say Trump's a good guy. He's actually a conservative liberal. He's technically a liberal. He's conservative economically, but a liberal in military shit. That's what he would be. See, you got to switch it around. Biden is a liberal conservative. Biden's liberal on politics, but overseas is a damn conservative. He'd be bombing people left and right. He's no different than these fucking leaders. But this is the way we're talking about. These are fascist leaders, even though they was authoritarian, but they do believe in the totalitarian structures. That's their downfall. They was in the public eye. He's in the public eye. And the rest of them that are totalitarian that's not mentioned, they're not on TV. I want y'all to notice the difference. I ain't mentioned Idi Amin. He's another one from Uganda. He was on TV a few times. I went to the Civil Rights Center in Atlanta. They didn't have Putin on the wall. They had Mao Zedong and everybody else, and Augusto from I believe it's Chile or something like that. I'm quite sure. Yeah, it's one of them. Or I believe Argentina. My fault. Argentina. One of them too. I think it was Argentina. My fault. Argentina. I believe it's one of them dictators. But all I'm saying is that's they got your basics. They have Papa Doc and everything. Yeah, all this shit is well connected. What you have is you see him, and I said totalitarianism with Putin. I put that in there, right? So you get what you get. So let's go with modern warfare. We're gonna go with modern warfare. I'll say Ukraine versus Russia. Oh, I spelled it wrong. My fault. Little typo. We're all human. So let's put this right here in perspective. Okay, the gates of Europe. Okay, this Putin right here. Look at the soldier. Corona. Yeah. We're gonna say the C virus. So you get what you get. That's the Ukrainian flag, Ukrainian war, and the people. I'm showing you pictures. This fool right here. They already making memes on his ass. So let's see this right here. Oh shit, Ukraine war. Yeah, we talking about that. They fighting against this fool right here. But that's the concept that I'm just gonna bring y'all. You know, Russia, Ukraine going at it, fighting against totalitarianism. Y'all. That's why this topic is very important. And this is a good concept we're gonna talk about. Your anarchists is right here. Ukrainians. They have that anarchy mindset. But what system are they gonna bring in the future? Russia's a totalitarian country, y'all. They got a charismatic leader. Now they got a leader. He looks like an anarchist to me, and I know he's a Jew, by the way. My fault. The J, we call them J's over here, but I said it. My apologies. No hate over here on this channel. But see, if Putin was on this shit with the missiles, obey and all this other shit, there you go. And here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like we got it here. And then totalitarian regimes, the Nazis. In the years after World War I, Germany, Italy, and Soviet Union saw the rise of totalitarian regimes in the form of government which the state attempts to assert control over every aspect of public and private life. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to leave this right here. We already know the Ukraine-Russia war is a common topic. We're going to talk about that. We're going to leave this up here for you for now. We get the minutes off the clock for a minute. And what's going on? All right, salute, man. Salute. Greetings, Carly Jane. Greetings. Oh, see, we see Hill Server over here. Yeah, we're going to see who else came in here. Oh, hell, Gray Skull Degenerate. What's going on, man? Yeah, man. This is something we gotta do. Nadia, what's going on? Feeling in my shoulders. What's going on in the building? Y'all check her out, man. But all I'm saying is, we're just gonna look at this real quick. I read it early in the stream, and like I said, man, it's a repeat of history. I showed y'all Putin. I'm gonna show y'all what totalitarianism regimes is. You see the swastika flag, the iron sickle. I don't have to go Chinese on you. I'm just gonna read what it says. It says public and private life. It is what it is, man. Like you fuck around, that's your ass. And like I said, you got to do what's right. And Ukrainians are acting like anarchists. I'm not mad at Ukrainians. I really don't. Like, I really want people to understand something. And it's just what it is. I know people's all over the place nowadays, but and that's just what it is. But for me, when you study politics in its proper form, you already know, man. So I'm looking at this. I said, okay. So when we talk about totalitarian regimes, and I talked about this part one, part two, and we talked about it, and I talked about it with Cerulean, I believe. You have these cultures. So I see why people deal what they deal with. So what you see with Putin, a lot of people say it's a ploy and all that. That's cool, but he has to get out the way. Even though we're not perfect either as a country, but Biden, I don't look at him as any different. But the reason you don't see him as a charismatic leader, we got oligarchs too, and the bankers or people that's in other groups. But we ain't gonna get into that because America's weird like that. It's kind of loose anyway. So we have internal problems and a lot of people that want to be anarchists. So you see that a lot in the countries. So what you see in the world is it's a very different country. So yeah, Russia is a good example of totalitarianism. They have authoritarian presence, yeah, but you got to believe what you got to believe. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to understand something here. Totalitarianism has never been defeated, but it's internal. That's why anarchists exist. It's going to be one of those streams I'm going to tell y'all and explain that it's one of those cultures you got to get used to. If you have never lived in Russia, and I'm telling the people that never travel, I ain't been to Russia. It'd be my first time, but I ain't gonna travel there, but I would love to visit one day if it's already fine. But as we're seeing right now, it's a mess. It's gonna take 5 to 10 years to get their economics the way they are, the way they crippled them in sanctions. Stuff I've been hearing about them not getting no food and shit. That's some fucked up shit. And Putin lied to him about going to war in Ukraine. So the oligarchs didn't want no another war, but actually that country was already hurting anyway. They had to do something. Economic. They were stealing all the money from the people. So this outbreak, people were in the streets. This is what it is. Let's see what the general talking about. All right, about Ukraine is true about there's something dirty about Zelensky regime. Well, degenerate, let me tell you something. I don't think it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. It's a regime, but technically it's not a totalitarian regime. It's more like an anarchist group. But I'll give you this. Let's look at this question, what he said. He said Zelensky regime. Let's say he's the anarchist side right now. It's no monopoly, right? Imagine him picking an ideology, what type of country he wants. Does he want a liberal country? Does he want an authoritarian fascist country? Or a totalitarian country like Putin? But since he's a J, people in Israel and things like that, he is going to be backed by pro-America. So basically, he wants Ukrainians say that democracy that is actually equals conservatism in its natural form. Even though they try to say there's such things liberal, it's no such thing as liberal democracy. Democracy to me is more conservative. I don't think it's liberal because liberal deals with the nationalistic republic, money, the banks, and all that. They want you to get rich, but they don't help a lot of people. So don't believe that. It's not true. They help themselves. Conservatives are the only ones that can help you. So no matter what party is, conservatives do not believe in those party systems, except Democrats preach it, but they're the original conservatives based off the liberal conservative views. But if you want to talk about physical conservatives, they'll need no party system, period. So they tried that with Barry Goldwater. I mentioned conservatism in part 1, part 2. He got destroyed. And I'm glad we did a part 3 talking about it. So that's the end of that. Now, if they want a part 4, we could have that discussion. But as what I'm saying, man, Zelensky's regime, I would say if he chose the liberal route like America, which is going to happen, it may be a state kind of like what you see in Israel. It may be a state like all these countries that are allied with America, like you see in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and other countries, or Turkey. It might be like Turkey, and he'll have his own regime. You just ain't gonna see it, but it's not totalitarian though. It'll be authoritarian. He'll have a liberal authoritarian society, not no totalitarian like Putin. See, Putin has a dictator mindset. He rigs his elections with oligarchs and shit. They embezzle his head. So let's not act like Zelensky. They say his is powerful. I don't think it's bad, but degenerate. That's a hell of a great question. I like that question. I'm gonna start that shit because you piqued my interest on that. Hold that thought. And yes, he is one of the few you could say he's that type of guy as well. But it's a possibility. But the lesser of two evils, he's a lesser evil versus Putin. Putin's a lesser evil. This guy's younger, the guy's older. They said the younger guy's not gonna win the war. I say bullshit. When you have guerrilla warfare on your side, you're gonna win. The other shit don't matter. Putin ain't that smart in guerrilla warfare. Those old tactics do not work. You need tech, you need skills, you need stealth play, you need all that shit. If you don't have none of that shit, sit your ass down. This is not one of those Mickey Mouse bouncing around type wars. No, you could die instantly with an instant kill with a drone. Stealth play is what it is, bro. Stealth play is king. And it will always gonna be king, whether you like it or not. One thing I could say about it is some people don't like to talk about this topic as much as and where you see in certain spaces. Over here, we talk about all the shit. We go in depth. And when we go in depth, we go in depth for real, for real. So we go in depth on history and shit like that. That's what the fuck I do on the channel. I break down the syllables of what individuals think, how you get your minds intrinsic, and what you see and what you get. So basically, I'm telling y'all, this matters sometimes. You got to go back to history of World War One and World War Two, and I talked about it in the other two totalitarianism streams. I wish I could just post them in the link for y'all and things like that. But yeah, man, this is a good topic to talk about. I can talk to y'all this in the chat, but if y'all ask for the link, that's cool. We can have a discussion, and that's just cool. But what I'm saying is, this is one of the things that Russia and Ukraine is based off that. That's what you're seeing in so many. The news people ain't gonna tell it what it is. You see it. They theorize shit. So again, yeah. Because I heard there was some neo-Nazi ties to the Ukrainian government. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. In the general, I wouldn't put it past you. It's a possibility. And was a puppet, but by the America. Yeah, it's a possibility. I'm not surprised. We do it all the time. We always have puppets. That's what it is. He said, America's democracy. We believe in free, fair elections. So the other words, don't elect racists. Don't put racists in charge of our government. First of all, America, you could say it's a democracy. Actually, America is a republic, not a democracy. I disagree with that. First of all, America is a republic. It's a liberal country. It's not a democracy. Democracy, when you talk about democracy in its natural form, it is a form of conservatism. Quiet as it's kept. Because I actually preached actual conservatism in its historical form, not some bullshit that you heard on TV. I do the research. You have to look at it from an integral bird's eye view perspective, especially from a military perspective. You have to look at it for what it is. You're conserving something. Yes, we believe in so-called fair and free elections. Most elections ain't fair and free. Sometimes people rob and cheat. I've seen that years ago. They've been doing it forever. Ain't nothing fair and free about election. Now, this last election we had 2 years ago was fair. And Trump said they cheated. No, they didn't. You just try to cheat one 2 years ago. So in other words, he said, don't elect racists. Racists ain't got nothing to do with it, sir. You talking about liberals. Liberals are racist. The real ones that are overt. I ain't talking about no covert. So you can't speak, oh, coverts are only racist. Bullshit. Coverts get exposed all the time and they tell on themselves. They start crying. See, overts tell it like it is and won't stop. That's a true liberal. That's not a conservative, sir. So it ain't got nothing to do with putting in charge. You don't know how this country works. It's similar to what you see in other countries. The difference is we don't have no charismatic authoritarian leaders. So by your comment, I had to disagree with that because number one, what Putin does, he controls everything in life. We don't do that. If we did, we would have been like an authoritarian country. Now we do have authoritarian leaders, but we're not totalitarian though. That's our problem. Economics, you could say that. Military, we're not. So that's the problem. Yeah, we have a strong military by different facets of it and different branches, what they do. It's just the Speaker of the House and all them got full control. So it's kind of weird how our country is built. So yeah, I know why people try to say it's free and fair. Not necessary. Most elections ain't free and fair. So I get what you're saying. So yeah. So I just want to kind of feel a bit to be validated that I'm not on neither pro or pro Ukraine though. I do obviously support the innocent citizens. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I like that assessment. Okay, degenerate. I agree with that. I'm not pro Russia myself. I don't give a fuck about them Russians. Same with Ukrainians. I don't care about them either. I'm not pro Ukrainians. Ukrainians is doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's natural selection in the nature of war. I don't pick neither side. I don't give a fuck about neither one of them because fuck both of them. Quiet as it's kept on my end. Ukraine's just doing what they're supposed to do, even though they say, "Oh, they're our allies," and they're gonna be shit allies too. They're gonna be like Turkey. You already know. I ain't fall for that bullshit. I don't support Ukraine. I don't support Russia. No, that's they shit. Ain't got shit to do with me because they fighting against totalitarianism. That's what it is. I mean, Ukraine's gonna do what they do. I'm not impressed. I mean, they supposed to do that. It's natural selection over there. That's part of the world. That's not our business. It's good to talk about and report on, spectate the drama, but life goes on. Things go on. You know what I'm saying? But basically, people forget what totalitarianism is. People's actually fighting for their freedom, not our freedom, their freedom. We don't need to fight for that. Not for everybody else's. No, we're selfish. Y'all know how good we got it over here. See what I'm saying? Y'all think we weak. So again, we understand what's going on. So totalitarianism speaks for itself. And Putin's in the corner. He can't do much. So, quiet as kept, how come they can't seize the money off? They froze everything. They went to the Swiss banks, IMF. They can't do shit. Quiet as kept, you got to do that. I told you I was going to talk about this. And the subject had to matter to me. And the reason I held off on it 2 weeks ago and last week and things like that is because I knew this shit was going to happen. And I'm glad I did a topic on it because I was focused on communitarianism and things like that. And I'm glad I did some of the things that work. So again, you know, this stuff I see all the time. Like this ain't over. Like a lot of people try to say Russia's gonna win it. I don't see that shit. No. When you have the oligarchs exposed, you're not winning this war. Long as Biden doing damage, and he went to Venezuela, I've heard recently. My pops was talking about it. We was talking about this shit. I said, damn, this shit's going on. I was watching different news sources, and I was like, well, damn, you know, I watch France 24 constantly. I watch others as well. And they still talking about this shit. I try to watch other networks from Ukraine and shit like that in the English versions, their versions, and they saying the same things. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And War Master said it right here. Yeah, facts. But yeah, man, totalitarianism, when I talk about these regimes, this matters sometimes. When you deal with Putin, he represents that. He is a charismatic leader, but he's a dynamic leader. That's what we call him. We got to do this fairly. So some people going to look at this and say, hey, I'm doing a part 3 to this because I feel like this is much needed discussion in politics. And I would say in political world systems like Zelensky, he's not the brightest in the bunch, but he has strategy. He's got support by the Americans and NATO and EU and all them other guys in the West. Let's just keep it facts. Yes, he's a J. And he's also representing them and the rich folks. Let's just keep it. Let's just keep it 1,000. Let's not act like he's getting protected. He's getting protected. He's not losing this war. Hell no. That goes back on them. Russia's gonna lose this shit because Russia done lost everything, and then Germany done turned on them. Everybody done turned on them. So you're not winning. They said sanctions ain't gonna do shit. Bullshit. It does damage. All sanctions ain't perfect. Yeah, it may not do shit to them, but if they knew about proper military etiquette, it does fuck your country up. So let's not act stupid here. China's not gonna help them. They barely help them a little bit. China's cold like that. So again, Russia don't have no options. So they put themselves in a situation they out, and that can be China too if they try to take Taiwan. That's done. You already know. Shouts out to the advisor. He lives in Japan. He'll tell you the truth about Japan. more than I can because he's over there. You know what's going on over there. So yeah, man, this is the shit that we need to be talking about. Like, we ain't worried about no World War III. We're just worried about how this war will change economics when it comes to money. And they say gas prices go up, and I think Ty City says the same thing. Yeah, that's one of the reasons you got to look at. The problem is people look at the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna keep looking at the wrong shit, and that's one of the reasons that you see on television. So America has always promote lies on the news. Let's just keep it 1,000, man. Like, ain't nobody watching regular TV like that. Quiet as kept. If you want to get technical, only thing is you see a lot of lies coming in. So we got to understand something here. We can't get mad what's going on. We can't get mad what's going on and expect anything different. What the fuck y'all thought? What the fuck y'all thought? Y'all thought we was gonna just sit here and just act crazy and shit? No, like, we knew this shit was about to happen. We knew this shit was about to happen. Like, some aspects of this war can happen. Let's not act like that's a problem. Okay. I'm not tripping off of what's going on, and shouts out to everybody that came through. Appreciate y'all for sliding through, man, on this notice. And this is actually good content to talk about. So I usually open it up, but I'm not for this week because I'm trying to just keep focused because I won't get an hour and 2 hours in. Just talk to y'all just about basic shit. I'll show you some more pictures later, but yeah, that's the key point. So what you see is in totalitarian structures, man, like, as you could tell, this beats the cake. This beats the cake. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man. And that's how you got to look at it. But so many things to consider. It is going to be like that. So, yeah, this war is going to continue the way it's going to be, and Zelensky's going to get it. Yeah, I heard that Biden is getting declined by Venezuela and UAE for all the oil and such. Yeah, he is, but he's trying to make a deal with him to shut that shit down, man. Like, a lot of people try to say he's getting declined. He ain't getting declined like that. He's actually making moves on it. I don't know if he's getting declined. At first he was, but they got their own shit. I believe something like that. I think you're talking about that. Yeah, and basically he's trying to do something like that. So America's got him fucked over, man. Like, most countries don't want to end up like Russia. So we already know. I heard that Saudi prince as well. No, it's actually the Saudi prince. It's not Venezuela. No, it's not Venezuela. No. He actually made a deal with him. That went through. It's actually the Saudi prince. It's the Saudi prince. So yeah. What's going on, Jalen? Salute. But the Saudi prince is basically got mad at Biden or whatever. I heard this from my pops, and he had a certain news source, and he was saying they didn't want to cut the oil or some shit, and then well, actually it's not the oil, it's the guns. Biden took the Russian guns away. My fault. The guns or some shit, right? And then they said fuck Biden, and they gonna give Russians guns and shit. That's what I heard, and I don't know if that's true or not. But if I did some research on it, it's some truth to that. Because Russia is desperate. They trying to sell their guns to whoever, but Saudi's gonna take them. Biden tried to stop them doing that, and then even in the country, whatever. It's just those people are going through it. But like I said, this war is what it is, man, and what Putin sent were school teachers and shit. Regular people occupation. They weren't even trained or nothing. So he's losing it. So yeah, the Venezuela part, no, that's not true. No, he made a deal. He got something out of that. A lot of people try to say they declined him. They didn't decline him. No. I would say UAE declined them, but Venezuela did not decline them. No, because it's close to America, because they can get their oil from Venezuela, and the guy put their differences to the side. They ain't care about Russia. Russia ain't got it like that. Russia's like a small country. It's like compared to Spain, damn near. That's what my dad was saying. The size, the weight, research, shape of the map. That's a whole nother story. Some people say it's a part of Asia, but they forget Japan, I believe Alaska. If you go historical history, all that used to be a part of Russia. It's part of Asia. But if you break it all away, it's a smaller country like Spain or some shit. Quiet as kept. Take the territories away. But, that's a whole nother topic on that. I'm not going to get into that about Russia. But Russia was built on totalitarianism in its history. USSR, Russian Federation, the KGB, that's just a small, weak-ass agents that were weak. All that shit. The last of the Romanov families, Putin, Rasputin, and all them in the Bolshevik Revolution. That's one of the things that you see now. So basically, you see what you get. So yeah, man, this is one of the things that you see in the world. So I will say this. When you have many problems around the world, what do you expect? See, when you're dealing with politics like the totalitarian system structure in the political realm, right? You deal with guys Putin losing his country. People turn against him, being anarchists and things like that. They're tired of the totalitarian structures. They're sick of it. So I see it all the time. So again, this is one of the things that I feel that you're going to see that's going to continue. So I will say this. Sometimes people do what they do, and you see the difference. You see the difference, what's going on. So in politics, in its natural form, you stick with it. Like, I understand that people want to be pro Putin, pro Zelensky. I don't give a fuck about neither one of them motherfuckers. Zelensky has the smartest strategy, and he's got all the help from the West. You can tell by the research. They say he's one of the J's, the J people. They like we would call them these weak ass spaces, but I'm gonna say Jew, whatever. It's no racial term over here. It's just what it is. And who cares? We don't care if he's that. Even though he's gonna get protection regardless. So we can't hate him here. I know this is their little protection. So no hate over here if y'all listen to this. But I'm just saying, despite that, I know he's not better than Putin, but despite that, he's got protection versus the guy on the other side of the aisle in the lands of Asia, what you would call Russia. He was trying to bring the Prussia shit. That shit backfired. Oligarchs sold him out. But they the ones build him up, and they're responsible for the shit that they do. You know what I'm saying? He said them Mongol and Central Russians. Yeah, Central Asia and all them areas. Yeah, I'm talking about that. I talk about that all the time with the dark history shit about Russia and things like that. I might have to show some pictures of that again in the China area. And my man, it's very valuable we talk about these topics like that, because when we talk about totalitarianism, I'll show pictures, and I already did streams on it. We talk about conservatism again, if we want to, we have that discussion. It's all good. But people got to understand something. It's only 54 minutes in, so I'm not even in an hour yet, because this may not be a long stream, but this is my 2 cents of the situation in Ukraine and Russia. And I'll show you the key words: totalitarian regime. It's a repeat of history like the 90s. It's a repeat of the Yugoslavian wars and shit like that. It's certain territories that Russia wants. The Chechens done whooped their ass before in guerrilla warfare. So they got their ass beat in Afghanistan. So don't get me started about Russia. Russia ain't really built like that as y'all think. Their military tactics is terrible. That's why they always been barbaric in other areas, but they do not have the guerrilla warfare experience. Guerrilla warfare always wins wars. They try to say it ain't warlike. Nah, they win. You just don't understand it. That's how you lose wars too. It's called stealth tactics. Birth stealth tactics, because guerrilla warfare is stealth, damn near. If you study it properly, people die every day. You can't stop people for trying to conquest a country. And so that's how the world is, man. Like we got to understand how the world works and see it for what it is. Some people ain't going to like what I'm going to say. Some people ain't going to like what I'm going to teach over here. So when you have structures like this, you understand what's going on. So yeah, that's one thing you can say. But I'm telling you, this stuff right here, it's just unbelievable. So what you got is you got people believing that, and I've heard this on the DC Code Breakers. They're trying to say Russia's gonna win and all shit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I heard that last weekend. Like they have no fucking idea what they talking about. I've been watching it all weekend. Last week, this week, they're still talking about it. And people need to stop lying on what's going on, bro. We gotta stop doing that, man. Like y'all need to do some fucking research. God damn, like, bro, this shit is not nothing to play with. You know, these war tactics is real, and you see this all the time. So some people just want to spew bullshit online, and then that Igmore clan, they always want to teach that shit, but never confront me in a debate about it. I bring links and titles and shit like that in research. I'm not going to let some people talk me, try to argue. No, nigga. Or shut the fuck up and sit down. But that's why I don't debate fools on none of this subject matter. Because a lot of people that they say they don't talk about politics, they think from a surface level. They can't hold a conversation. And me and Dre kind of agree with that. We said that off air one time about certain individuals about these subjects. They can't hold a conversation. They can't. I don't care if I say it live on air. I'm telling you, they cannot hold a conversation. And that's the fucked up thing about talking about these things. You got to look at it from an integral perspective. You got to look at it from a fair point of view and criticize everybody at the same time. But you can pick one side. Some people pick sides all the time. I don't give a shit. I'm just getting to the truth. Why are they like that? Well, you can tell how people think. So the first thing you think of is these structures and these systems. So when you have these things people talk about, you don't know when people are going to be reliant on everything. So yeah, again, these structures matter to certain people. So we got to understand something. People are going to be who they are when they're going to believe this stuff or not. So basically, you're saying the whole concept of not talking about this is not important, but talking about it and you see it on the news, why is this kept? It matters. It matters to the fact that people are looking at this stuff. They said, what's a totalitarian leader? And I tell them right here on this philosophy basic, I told them what I just read earlier. I said it's a authoritarian political system or a state that regulates and controls nearly every aspect of the public and private sectors. Here's another read. Totalitarian regimes establish complete political, social, and cultural control over their subjects and are usually headed by a charismatic leader equals dynamic leader. In general, totalitarianism involves a single mass party, typically led by a dictator, in an attempt to mobilize the entire population in support of the official state ideology and an intolerance of activities which are not direct towards the goals of the state, usually entailing the repression and state control of business, labor unions, churches, and political parties. Totalitarian regimes is usually essentially a modern form of authoritarian state, requiring, as it does in an advanced technology, of social control. There you go. That's the introduction on that. It's no need. And the rest says on the bottom, if you read it, it's a widespread and intimidates and terror attacks. So I'm not going to read all to you. I'm going to put this in the chat for y'all. Hold on. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to see if y'all get the meat and the gist. And I'm going to put this in chat. Here you go. Here you go. There you go, folks. There you go, folks. I just put this in the chat. That's where I'm reading it from, but it's a lot to read. And yeah, so we're in the hour mark. Good. So basically, what I'm saying is, in so many words, you got to do your own research, man. Some people love these structures, man. And you got to make sure you don't listen to people that don't know what the fuck they talking about. Act like they know something in the brain trust, but they don't. I saw that bullshit over at Ramil's today, and I'm disgusted. Like, Ramil, you got some dumbass motherfuckers that don't know about politics. That's why I don't get on his panels. A lot of dumbass shit going on. And that's why I question a lot of people on this shit. Like, I research the shit. I just don't talk to people like that. People act like, they from a surface level, but dude, y'all not saying nothing. Y'all can't hold a conversation for an hour. That's why I don't talk to people about it. Then they want to get mad and try to say they know more. No, you don't. You don't know shit. You don't do the research. I do this shit. I actually go and vote and study the shit and talk to actual officials what the fuck they're doing wrong. I got a whole audience of that. So you can't tell me shit about it. I have my experience. So you can't tell me about shit that I've done before, man. I've seen people get mad at their senators, their congressmen all day long. They never meet the president. But if they do, it has to be a good one. So, like I said, man, totalitarianism, like I said on the screen here, and we just read, a form of government in which state attempts to assert control over every aspect of public and private life. That's what Putin did for years, y'all. He did that. He did that for years, and now you look at it, and the results is coming in. So again, we're doing this, and we're going to maintain that long term. That's it. So I'm going to go on mute. I'll be right back. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Back at it again. So yeah. Uh woo. I'm back at it. I had to get some water, more water over here. Yeah, man. Let me see if I can I save this shit? Oh, excuse me. That's some gas. Let's see what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're gonna see. Well, not gonna do that. Yeah, sometimes they got videos on the shit. Let's control that down. But yeah, that's a good concept. There's Putin and the war to my nuclear bombs and stuff. I'm just showing you images. But let's go right here for a minute. There's Ukraine, Russia next together. We're gonna talk about tonight. Totalitarian country nations. They try and get their territories. And Ukraine is a little bit small. I know people talking about Kiev and things like that. Yeah, Ukraine. I've heard this country since I was as a kid in the '90s. They have a lot of history. I didn't go in depth on it. I used to say this back in early 2001, early 2000s, while I was a teenager in seventh grade. Took seventh grade world history. Talk about all these countries and agriculture and things they eat and stuff like that. Okay. What do you got? Directions of Russian advances, Russian controlled areas. That's in the red and the war and all that stuff. Arsenals and all that stuff. Yeah, man. Poland's right next door to that shit. Slovenia, Hungary, Romania, all in Eastern Europe, man. Like all these territories and Moldova, Belarus, all this in the region, man. So yeah, man, these are anarchists backed by them and certain people and certain ideologies, and then you got a totalitarian structure like Russia. They try to say they're communists. No, they're not. They're totalitarian. They're not communists. Most communists ain't really totalitarian like that. They can be, but I've yet to see that. That's China historically, and that shit backfired and it didn't work. That's why fascism has always been king on the right wing tip. So Hitler and all them guys, see, the reason these niggas don't speak on fascism, they don't know what they're talking about. They act like it's left wing, but it's not. It's always right wing. See, when you listen to AJ, you don't know what you're talking about. You gotta be careful who you listen to on the internet. I was very careful back in the day because I never drunk the Kool-Aid thinking like that. You gotta do your research, man. Like I've been on this type of stuff for years. I knew Putin was going to be bad back in 2014 and prior. He did some foul shit before he got in these positions, and then look at it now. Russia's falling apart. So he always had problems. Stayed in power. You know what I'm saying? But that's these leaders. That's what you get with these leaders, and you don't get much to them. Same old shit, and that's the problem with people. So you can't just say we don't know what we're talking about. But do you got dudes in these spaces think they know politics? They really don't. They don't do research like I do. I'm the only one that's well researched on these subjects, and I can get books on these for hours, man. These niggas ain't teaching you nothing. I'm just showing you the evidence that certain things going around. I'm just showing pictures and explaining myself. I can in conversations what I've seen on the news. A lot of people just want to be seen, man. It's want to be seen on television or on YouTube and try to get fame. They say they know a little bit about politics, but they don't actually study. I study this shit. It's not see, they're looking at money. I don't give a damn about economics. Economics is the last thing I think about. That's the last thing I think about. That's the last thing I think about. That's the last thing I think about. because people think about economics way too much. And they think that's part of the world. No, it's not. It's half of the world. Military controls economics all day long. People act like they know it, but they really don't know. They just run their mouth based off who tells them. And then they got guys call themselves the Grand Master, or they call themselves master teachers and shit. Act like they know it all, but they really don't. Come on, bro. Been this shit for a long time. I don't listen to people like that. I understand. I respect we was talking about politics and things like that. I don't really debate these guys that just because they got doctors and PhDs think they know what they talk about, but they don't. Because the only reason they got something to talk about, they talk about economics. That's all they talk about, but they never talk about the military aspect of the economics, who controls it. So again, I stay in my lane in the military aspect of the history, mixing with economics and everything else. I talk about the current events of politics. I don't go in depth on the economics. That's not current events. That's just everyday life. People buy and sell shit all the time. Damn, what is wrong with fucking YouTube? God damn it. As soon as I try to move shit, everybody else is trying to fuck with my shit. God damn it. Damn. Yeah, close the fucking app. Damn. I have to refresh this shit. It's always doing that dumbass shit. Like, I'm trying to get somewhere and then try to make my point, but god damn. Woo! Shit is ridiculous, bro. I know it's 2 GB on my shit, but god damn, it ain't all that. Not your fucking mind. Jesus. Damn. But anyways, yeah, it's an hour in because this may not be a long one, but I just want to speak my piece on it. So I got time. I got 9:22 and things like that. So we're gonna go in tonight and expound on it. But yeah, my thoughts on the Ukraine and the Russia thing is just a repeat of what I was saying years ago. Um, I was talking about the totalitarian structures twice, I think last year and this year. I talked about it enough. This is my third time talking about it. It's a good topic to talk about because I'm the only person that's going to talk about it in its proper form. A lot of people want to talk about it and then try to pique the interest. They say it's not interesting. No, it's not. You got to talk about it. It's history. And what you see with Putin, he is a totalitarian leader. They just trying to keep it minimum and simple. No, it's more to it. If you can't fight guerrilla warfare, it's good to talk about these things. See, conservatism and liberal is basic shit. That's not politics to me. That's basic shit. You already know what that is. Nobody cares about that shit. You can scream for hours about liberalism and conservatism all day. But when you put proper systems perspective like fascism, authoritarian society, then you got your totalitarianism mixed with everything else with a dynamic leader, different countries that are part of the totalitarian structures, we see them fail all the time, crash and burn. So again, most people just gonna pick and choose what they want to hear, but don't want to do the research. So again, a lot of people just gonna have their own problems, man. And that's just what it is. So again, like you see what's going on in the preparations of things, and you can't get mad what's going on. Like most people pick and choose who they are. So when you look at these things, you just have to have it. Oh, I guess I'll refresh my studio. Yeah. So enough of this. Oh, let's look at another map. See how close Ukraine and Russia is, and Belarus and Romania, and then Moldova. All these regions. Yeah, you see how that's stretched in? God damn. Russia's trying to take all these, like the Kiev, Kiev and right here, Belarus. They trying to get all this region. So what we're saying is it's very valid. So, like I said, most people just want to sit around and just not talk about this stuff long term. So, yeah, and then Ukraine is where it's at, the battle. And Poland's right beside it. We showed you Hungary. We showed you other places. And yeah, man, it is what it is. There's Russia right here. Poland's right next door to it. It is what it is. Romania and Belarus. Yeah. So yeah, man. All these countries, man. Show you Putin again. We just talk about Russia and the war a little bit. We're gonna go like that. So look, they put Trump in here. That's wild, ain't it? That's your classics. That's the Kim from North Korea, Mao Zedong, totalitarianism, dictator, totalitarianism. Um, he would be a fascist, communist, fascist, socialist. He's a socialist. He's a semi-communist. He's a communist, but his later political form was socialism. But he's a totalitarian dictator. Yes, it's a broad terms. They're separate. The subterm, he would be a socialist slash communist. He's a pure communist. Actually, he's a communist because socialism, that was his startup base. The communist, he just let things loose. But he has the totalitarian charismatic leader look. He didn't really last that long. Kim, he's a fascist. A lot of people think he's a socialist. Technically, he's a fascist. He's extreme, just like his forefathers and things like that. This guy was a fascist. I forget his name, but they do preach totalitarianism. Hitler was a totalitarian fascist, authoritarian, like, the Nazi party, right wing style. He was one of them too. Him and Zelensky are the same breed. He's half, by the way, but that's old enough, so I'm not gonna get into him. Stalin is he will be your Soviet. He's a socialist, not a communist, by the way. People get that wrong. But that's a whole nother spiel on that. With them, their origins, I can go on. Your two fascist leaders, Benito Mussolini, right here in Italy, but had a totalitarian structure at the end, just like Hitler. They want to be seen. They won't be on TV. Mussolini, Benito, or somebody. Is it Benito or is it somebody who I'm looking at? Yeah, man. So he said the origins of totalitarianism, they send it back to Hitler. They're trying to say that man's Hitler, Putin, which is kind of wild. So you got all these things and your classic and modern. Y'all know who this dude is. I think he's dead, I believe. I don't know if he's still alive. But yeah, man, it's a lot of people, man. I think this is Mussolini right here. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's your leaders. So we're gonna get into it. I'm just showing you pictures tonight because I'm not gonna get into far with it. So yeah. What's going on, Psycho Candy? Yeah, Bonito Mussolini. Yeah, it is. Okay. Appreciate you. But like I said, man, one thing I can say about so many words, it is what it is. So I know people are going to talk about the Russia and things like that, and Mussolini, totalitarianism, and things like that. Yes, Putin, a lot of people say he's a psychopath. No, he's a sociopath. Just have to runs a totalitarian regime called the Russian structure, the Russian Federation, in their totalitarian ways with the KGB and things like that, former KGB guys. The Russian Federation is a totalitarian regime in their military, the militaristic mindset. That's the thing that you see. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how that's what you got. And that's what you have. So again, you just see it for what it is. So I'm not surprised what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I had to do something. Whew, my sinus is acting up. I got to pay the phone bill tomorrow. Look some interfaces tonight. It's only an hour, so this may be a 2 hour. Yeah, I got time. I got time tonight. I'm trying to go to sleep because I took a nap earlier and I wasn't even paying attention. But yeah, I wanted to do this topic tonight. This is my actual content. So, because tomorrow I'll be talking about something else. But yeah, man, I would say something like this. When you talk about Ukraine and Russia, you got to talk about totalitarianism, what they're fighting against. Ukrainians are more like anarchists. They're more like anarchists. What you see is what you get. In so many words, you see this a lot. So when you're itching, nerves popping, because I already got my head shaved, bald right now, and talking through this microphone and shit like that. Oh, excuse me. It's gas. It's gonna be something, I'm glad my stuff came in today. Man, it's gonna be cold Friday. Damn, it's gonna be snowing Saturday. Oh shit, it's gonna be nippy. Yeah, it's gonna be cold tomorrow. Okay, I won't have to bundle up. God damn. I'm feeling great. I'm gonna have a great week. Yeah, Sunday. I'm gonna be on fire, yo. But anyways, what we're seeing right now is just what it is, man. It's what it is. And I'm just like, yeah, man. But I'm just gonna say it like this. But when you're talking about structures like that, you understand what's going on. So a lot of people are looking at it, and I'm not gonna stop many times that people are saying that, you know, we see this a lot. We see this a lot. And I think people want to talk about the regime change and things like that. They want to get rid of all this stuff. Well, when you talk about it in its natural form, we ain't gonna show the bodies of Ukrainians killing Russians. We already know that's barbaric culture. So we showed you pictures and leaders and things like that. We show you a little evidence, but I'm just gonna put it right here. Let's look at leaders. They said this nigga boring, but here we go. That's Mussolini, Stalin, and your man Hitler. I said this man was a fascist, authoritarian leader. They're authoritarians, technically, fascist, socialist, authoritarian left, authoritarian right, definitely authoritarian right, fascist. But what they have in common, they're dictators of totalitarianism on a grander scale. And the picture that you can see, there they go again in the era. I talk about this a lot. I talk about fascism multiple times, totalitarianism multiple times. And you see these regimes come, and then you have these revolutionaries, the anarchists. Yeah. See, there you go. I mentioned him earlier. Oh boy, right here. I think that's Franco from Spain, I believe. I think that's him. I'm not sure. Because one of them's from Spain. They don't mention him a lot, but they mention these others. That's the guy from North Korea. That's the grandfather of Kim. And his dad was different. They were vile in their day. Let's not act like they're not vile. So they give you the names. Mussolini's right here. It's in the Italian. That's in Russia, which calls the former Soviet Union. Stalin, Joseph Stalin. And then you got Adolf Hitler. They say he's born in Auschwitz, but technically he's born in Austrian. He's an Austrian J, half J, by the way. But that's a whole nother story on him. I'm not gonna get into that. Even though they say he's German. No, he ain't. He's Austrian. So much history on Hitler. I'm not gonna get into him. That's a whole nother spiel. See, y'all don't understand uh people and etiquette. You guys want to talk your shit and be online and act like y'all know shit. But y'all don't know a damn thing. You don't know a fucking thing about totalitarianism. Y'all just run your damn mouths on the internet. And see, they give you all religions. Religion, economic I mean, religion, economics or economy, education, family, and media. That's totalitarianism. That's what we're talking about. State government has complete control over religion, economy, education, family, and media. That's what we're talking about. That's totalitarianism. I wish I had this little fucking thing, but I'm gonna wait till later. So we're gonna keep this up. Talk the rest of the way and just keep it simple. So as we can tell, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So like I said, we're still here. I know people talk about this a lot, but yeah, I think what you see now over there, people talking about it in France Story 4 and they talk about the news and it's just wild, bro. Like people just wanna be seen. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. So when you talk about these subjects, it's all a matter of choices that you get. So I understand what's going on. So a lot of people don't realize. when you get in these type of topics, some people just can't hang on, and they just like, all right, we're gonna be here for a long time. So as we're telling right here, right? We're just gonna get into it. So let's see here. We're gonna almost see if they got a page on the rise and totalitarianism leaders. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at this right here. We're gonna go more to save. Is it page? I'm telling you, it's a YouTube classic. Yeah, I need that. Yeah. Thank you, internet. I think I need that. I got something for y'all. I got something for y'all, man. I got something for y'all. Cause if we do a page, well, I got something for y'all. The rise and shit. It's so much shit. And we're just gonna look at it real quick. And it's just what it is. Reading, writing, video. They got Hitler and things like that. And the bundle over 20 years of experience. That's the past. But if they ain't got Putin, that's you seeing, the dictators that they have back in the day. So that's history repeats itself. See, Putin's doing something these three guys barely did. They did it 20 years prior in that century, the 20th century. So that's iconic what they did. So dictators and what I'm talking about, the rise of aggressive dictators. It's a lot of good books out there, so y'all can be edified and things like that. So yeah, man. Now they got Putin, for la la la. So we got it right here. I might share y'all. Let me see. Let me show y'all something. Let me give y'all overlay. Let me give y'all overlay. Let me give y'all a damn overlay. I'm gonna give y'all overlay. There you go. How y'all like that overlay? How y'all like the overlay? Yeah, I'm gonna stop the screen share. How y'all like the overlay? Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it up for a minute. Like I said, you see it on the screen, the overlay, and yeah, the overlay. Yeah, how y'all like that? So it talks about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the thing. So when I talk about religion, economics, education, family, and media, so we're gonna talk about this thoroughly. Sometimes you see this stuff is very, very, very normal. And that's what we're talking about over here. So in its aspects, we just like looking here and basically just boil down shit when it's Maximus, things like that. So we're not gonna get into it. He said the Hammer School, the further. And that's just what it is. We're gonna get into it in a minute. We're gonna knock the overlay off. So I just want you to know that's what we're talking about tonight. But yeah, that's everything like it says. But I'm gonna read you the other bottom half. I put it in the chat. It says totalitarian regimes or movements tend to offer the prospect of glorious yet imaginary future to a frustrated population, like you see now in Russia, and to portray Western democracies and their values as decent, decadent, with people too soft, too pleasure loving, and too selfish to sacrifice for a higher cause. They maintain themselves in a political power by various means, including secret police, like you got over there, propaganda, disseminated, decimated propaganda that disseminated through the state controlled mass media, personality cults, regulations, restrictions of free speech, single party states, the use of mass surveillance, and the widespread use of intimidation and terror attacks, I said earlier, right? It's not necessarily the same as dictatorship or autocracy, I mean, dictatorship or autocracy, which are primarily interested in their own survival, and as such may allow for varying degrees of autonomy within the civil society. Religious institutions, courts, the the press, a totalitarian regime, on the other hand, requires no individual or institution is autonomous from the state, is all encompassing ideology. However, in practice, totalitarianism and dictatorship often go in hand. And they said in terms of Talorisimo was first employed by the philosopher of fascism Giovanni Gentile, 1875-1944, and Benito Mussolini, 1883-1945. In the mid 20th century, fascist Italy was originally intended to convey the comfort of the sense of all embracing the total state. But in tune, but it is soon attracted critical connotations, unflattering comparisons with liberalism and democracy. That's what you got. And like you said, and then it talks about communism and things, the history of totalitarianism, and then y'all see that what we're saying, right? What I just read. So that's what you got in totalitarianism, like we're talking about. So you see that a lot, you hear that a lot. So the overlay, we're just gonna hide it for a while. And we're gonna go back to the screen share for a minute. So people gotta understand something. We just bring all the stops. Let's go back to it. We're gonna go back to it. This is what they got right here. Putin equals Hitler. They already paint him as that right now. Got the picture right here. Further a 2022 expansion beyond Ukraine. They throwing shots. They view him as a new Hitler, because they scared of the 20th century. Look at these people. And that's what it is. A sample rate. What you got? So again, nationalism, socialists, they got the party and things like that, and then you got these countries. That right here, Dictator Project. They got all the leaders and things like that. 1920s, they got the eagle, swastika, and things like that. 1920s and 30s, the rise of totalitarianism. Yeah. It's the Spanish. So they got the book. But you get what you get, and I know people don't want to see it or whatever. 2015. And that's the another leaders of that. They ain't talking about Franklin D. Roosevelt. That's that Franco or somebody. But you know what I'm saying? But this is all the stuff we was talking about all these times. Rulers in Europe. This is a long time ago. That's the 20th century, y'all. That ain't that long ago. That's another century. 21st century is a repeat of the 20th century. It's all repeats of the same shit. And they always gonna have power. They try to say Trump's one. Trump barely did it, but he sold secrets, sold information. Not a good thing. Treacherous move. Why did they come to power? People wanted the strong leaders to get them out of the Great Depression. And here's the thing: nationalism is a form of liberalism. They promise to make their countries big and powerful, like they always do. And what did they want? Total control over the country and people. Next part: strong military and an economy. The last part: more land. They were willing to go to war for it. That's what Putin does. Same concept, same build. Believe that. It is what it is. And I hope y'all read that concept. But I'm just saying, like in so many words, y'all gotta look at it like that angle. So as I can tell, people are scared to see past what it is. So I'm not worried about the next person and doing things like that. So when you have these discussions, make sure you're on par. Make sure you're on par. So I'm not really distraught by it. So when you have these things, you know what's up. You know what's up. You know what's up. I'm just like, man, come on, y'all. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think one thing about it is I was looking at it. I was distracted, y'all. My fault. Y'all gotta forgive me sometimes. I was distracted a little bit. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like I said earlier in the streams, like, look, man, what you see is what you get. They backing Putin in the corner. He can't really do much. So, like I said, in so many, it's about to be on the 2 hour mark because I don't know if I'm going to stay longer, but I'll go through with it. I'll go through with the 2 hour mark. Appreciate that everybody came through, man. Like, shouts out to everybody. This ain't gonna be like no 3 hour or anything, but we'll see. But yeah, we're gonna talk about various things. So I just want to get to this part with the totalitarianism because I know people are busy and doing things and move around and things like that. So I just want to get to the content at hand. But like I said, this is one of the things I can say. You can see what's going on. And like it says right here, man, we're just gonna eat off some clock a little bit and start talking. And that's what they want, man. Like the more control they want it. And let's look at right here. They said define it, right? Ain't got much. Damn, this shit's small. A form of rule government maintain total control of side public right. Yeah. Let's go with the real shit. And he said Obama's Hitler, which is crazy. They trying to say they were Italy, Soviet Union. Oh wow. Political spectrum. Oh man. They said libertarianism, republic, progressivism, communism, socialism, Nazism, fascism. They're talking about the Italy fascism. They call it Nazism. Nazism is a form of fascism. Socialism is a cousin to communism and progressivism. Islamoism of fascism, the worst political spectrum that will ever be conceived. Oh wow. Yeah, anarchists is on the other end. Yeah, these people are wild. They just making up shit as they go. The left and right bullshit. That's why I don't get into arguments. They don't define these right. You got to be careful what you put online in these pictures. It's drawing certain things out. So, like I said, man, like you do what you got to do. But that's it. You know, I ain't got much to show, but yeah, man. That's what I had early in the stream. What you see right now, that's your modern day 21st century totalitarian leader in Russia. You got that. So we're gonna knock this off in closing. But like I said, this is one of the things that you see, man, like in the cultures. And then, all right, what's going OG Sony Blako? What's going on, man? Salute, salute. But like I said, man, you see one of these things and you just say, hey, a lot of times you have these things to talk about in so many words that you could tell the situation is gonna be what it is. That's the thing about me. You're gonna have these things a lot. So when you talk about totalitarianism, you talk about it in its purest form and the leaders and things like that. And things like that. So you're gonna get those. So when you have these things, they just come in order. Oh, it's Blacko? Okay, my fault. Yeah. Like Flacco, Blacko. Okay, cool. Cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, we're all good. My apologies. My apologies. Yeah. All right. All right. So it's Blacko. Okay. Cool. 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 What's going on, Mace? Salute. Salute. Like I said, man, I think one of the reasons that we talked about it early in the stream, and I'm glad I mentioned Putin as that leader, it kind of breaks down what we're seeing, what we're talking about. And I think people need to talk about totalitarianism in a minute because we saw early in the hours in the stream, if y'all play it back from those times, and I brought up the Ukraine, how they got the guns from the West, backed by a little bit of NATO, and they stopped giving them guns. And they already had guns. That was over the years before this war ever started. This was orchestrated right. This is a buildup of Putin's demise. So China is barely helping him. All the other countries barely helping him. Turkey and all them places. But the only countries helping him is Syria. Payback for Assad's ordeal. Chechens trying to kill him, and that didn't work. Backfire. Russians protect him, and now uh, Syrians got to protect the Russians. So to fight this guerrilla warfare. So instead of going nuclear, they're going for that warfare. So yeah, man, this is one of those things that you got to see. Um, that's the whole purpose of it. So what I'm seeing right now is like every day, man, they trying to find soldiers, they crushing their tanks and stuff like that. But it's bad in Russia right now. So people report on different angles of it. I'm just like this. Since they got the oligarchs, yeah, he's done. But nukes ain't gonna save him, man. That's just self destruction. So we got nukes to stop him or whatever, because America's so weak like that. We so stressed in. They try to say America's not gonna use no nukes. I doubt it. You may never know. You can't trust who's in the White House, and they're so surgical with the shit. I appreciate it, man. But like I said, but like I was saying, you gotta understand when I was talking about it, I was talking about it extensively. So what you're saying in so many words is like I feel like that's one thing. But when you have a society that's coming against you, man, that's just one thing I can say, man. This is it. Some people just ain't going to just tolerate and sitting down. Zelensky, we already know he's one of the people over there that's backed, so it's obvious. And let me tell you something, it's no hate. It is what it is. He's backed by the West, and to me, I don't think he has a problem with it. You see, Turkey supporting him. You see, everybody else supporting him. Except for Syria and everybody else, they don't fuck with Ukraine like that because Ukraine's gonna be the new ally in the future. They said they're not a part of NATO. It don't matter. They're gonna be a new ally in the future. It's gonna be like what you see in Turkey and other places. You see all this stuff, so you're gonna see a lot of tension going that way. So again, this is the type of stuff that we're talking about and expounded on. So when you have things like this, you see people don't talk about what I talk about. That's just so much stuff that comes in. So yeah, man. And that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. But but the thing I would say, like in so many words, almost in closing, I would say like the next hour or whatever, I'll speak about 30 to 45 minutes and I'll talk about it and I'll be like, okay, this is gonna be one of those things that we're gonna see a lot. And you see it. And I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna be one of those things. So I think this is gonna be talked about a lot, probably in the weeks. So let me get some sources and things like that. So let's see right here. Get the Yahoo. Oh, I'm itching. Okay, Ukrainians. Zelensky said he has a cooled on joining NATO and is open to discussions about control of a Russian-backed separatist regions. Yeah, Vladimir Zelensky, sixth president of Ukraine. He's trying to keep that country under wraps. He's a young guy. That's their sixth president. Wow. Oh, I see. Yeah, they backing him. Yeah, yeah. Dude is good, but until you see what's going on, but you gotta know what's up the history. Ukraine's got a tough time. They try and be like more Americanized. What you're saying, it's gonna be like Turkey and everybody else. It's gonna be an allied nation. They're gonna get more guns in the future. They're gonna have more agents, and it's gonna change a lot of things. Ukraine's gonna probably be those countries you're gonna see that's gonna be dominating in the future in the tech and all this other stuff. So that's another one, like in Europe and things like that, in those places. He had a cool down about Ukraine's bid to join NATO. He said his mindset changed after we understood that NATO's not prepared to accept Ukraine. See, he said that. Zelensky added, the alliance is afraid of the controversial things that confrontation with Russia. That's very true, and I agree with him on this point. They're not prepared for that because NATO ain't gonna do shit. They don't trust them, and they show them that they don't want that confrontation. Exactly, they ain't built like that. He's pulling their cars. Ukrainian President Vladimir said that he had to cool down about Ukraine's bid to join NATO amid Russia's war with the Eastern European country. Okay. Regarding NATO, I have cooled down regarding this question long ago after we understood that NATO is not prepared to accept Ukraine. Zelensky told ABC News in a exclusive interview that aired Monday night. Zelensky had the alliance is afraid of the controversial things of confrontation with Russia. I never wanted to be a country which is begging something on its knees. We are not going to be that country. And I don't want to be that president. See, he's the sixth president in that country, by the way. Ukraine's pursuit of NATO membership has been cited by Russian President Vladimir Putin as a justification for his decision to invade Ukraine. In 2008, Ukraine applied to begin a NATO membership action plan, the alliance, and welcomed Ukraine's bid, pledging that the country would eventually become a member while declining to offer a timeline. In addition to his NATO comments, Zelensky said on Tuesday that he was open to discussions about the control of Russian-backed separatist regions in eastern Ukraine, which would be an opening for peace talks with Russia. It is important to me how people who want to be a part of Ukraine and will live there. I am interested in the opinion of those who see themselves as citizens of the Russian Federation. However, we must discuss this issue, Zelensky said, before Putin launched Russia's war on Ukraine. Regions of Donetsk, Lus, uh, Lusinski or something like that. I'll say Lu and Donsk or Donsky or Luhansky in the Donbass eastern region and Ukraine as independent states. Putin demanded guarantees that Ukraine would not join with the NATO in the run up to his invasion, then demand alliance leaders repeatedly reject. The people who elected me are not ready to surrender. We are not ready for ultimatums, Zelensky said, but we can discuss with Russia the future Crimea and Donbass. So, estimate that up to 4,000 Russian troops have died since Putin launched the Russians' invasion of Ukraine on February 24th. The official said Russia had lost about 5% of its vehicles and weapons, leaving it to plenty of combat power. The CIA director also warned Tuesday that Putin was likely to double down and try to grind down the Ukrainian military with no regard from civilian casualties. But Russian military is still expected to subdue the Ukrainian resistance if hostiles continue at 900,000 active duty troops and 2 million reservists. The Russian military is 8 times the size of Ukraine's, according to a report from Washington Post, reading an article on Business Insider. So yeah, it's it's one of those things that you see we talked about tonight. That's part of the subject, and he's fighting against totalitarianism and things like that, Russian warships and things like that. So as it should, you talk about these things and you expound it even further. It's just what it is. I say a lot of people just gonna be in the dark with it. So yeah, it's 2 hours in. I appreciate everybody coming through because I know this ain't gonna be a long one. I just want to speak my mind on the Russia issues and things like that. Shouts out to OG Sony Blacko. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for stopping by. Mace himself, appreciate you. Sincerely, Norris Jadia. Feel it in my shoulders tonight's matchup. Appreciate you. Psycho Candy, appreciate you, man, for coming through. Who else came through? Who else came through? Degenerate the Slayer from the Villain Sphere. Appreciate you. First time newcomer, Jalen the Man of Storm. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. War Master, as always. Appreciate you, man. Let's go back at it again and again. So, Zab, appreciate you. Um, he said, yeah, hear what I said earlier. Yeah, appreciate you coming through. Supreme Elder, appreciate you coming through. DJ, uh, Mr. DJ Music, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Who else came through? I want to shout out everybody that came through. Let's see. Art, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Collie Jane, appreciate you as always. Appreciate you coming through. And then you got Conservative. All right, man. I see you. I see you. The Trim Crew. Just Gas Shar, appreciate you for coming through. And my man, the advisor, Just DeAndre himself, Dr. Doom himself, the Palace of Petty. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. And Crystal, Shalom. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I'm just gonna sign off, man. I'm just gonna sign off. Oh, okay, Mike. Appreciate you, Mike. Yeah, you can watch it on playback, man. Appreciate you, man. What's going on, Dick Thug? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about tonight on the totalitarianism, and then get into it. I'll talk about a little bit of Russia, show you some pictures and things like that. Just explain all my situation I've been watching on the news lately and keeping up with it. So it's been time. So I won't leave it on the 2 hour mark. So with that, I want to say peace and shalom. Like I said, all hail Great Skull, and I'm out.